tight, said every runner ever. Back in January 2024, I made a New Year's resolution that I was going to stretch every single day in 2024. I didn't. So I'm jumping back on that commitment I made to myself, and for the next 30 days, I'm going to do yoga every single day, just to get back into the habit of stretching and mobility, especially as a runner. Here we go. To hopefully be a bit more pain-free and, mental health benefits. So here's day number 1 of my flow. I'm no newbie to yoga. I've done yoga challenges in the past. I randomly decided to do a month-long yoga challenge. But it's one of those things that I fall off of. I'm doing yoga, I feel balanced, I feel whole, so I slip up and I don't do as much. And before you know, it's been 2 years since I've done a single yoga flow.
Bruh.
Okay, I remember a bunch of the moves. And I kind of have them, I just need to get back to them.
Now in the past, I've been able to do a few poses, but there's 3 that have always lived rent-free in my head that I really want to nail. The dancing pose, mermaid pose, and a headstand. And also I want to explore the different types of forms of yoga, because if you're new to yoga, there's not just one kind of yoga, there's a lot, and we're going to get into it. Full confession, I don't really have a plan for the first week. I just want to get back into the habit of doing yoga. So I'm just going to do what I remember for the first couple days. And then once I'm consistently doing it, then I'm going to follow a more structured program and try a wide variety of yoga. So far, I'm just starting with vinyasa. Honestly, I forget the regular classic yoga flows you kind of do. So I did a couple classes, went on YouTube, followed people like Yoga with Adriene.
Top of the morning, welcome to Yoga with Adriene.
And just remembered, downward dog to upward dog. Just those simple things, and got back into it and see how stiff I am, because I'm stiff. And also humbling that I used to be able to do it one-legged and all this, and I was felt kind of defeated that all that work I did in the past was no longer there. Dancing pose, I can kind of do. My balance is definitely off. And this is the same time I was doing my barefoot running challenge. They kind of overlapped a little bit. It's day number 1 of my barefoot running challenge, and I'm realizing how much lack of strength I have in my feet, ability to spread my toes, and just ankle stability right now. So I don't know, something about I feel there's a direct correlation between yoga. So I'm hoping just reconnecting with my body, my feet, which are all important things for running. So I'm also hoping this will add to a little bit of cross training with my running.
Today I'm just gonna do some yin stretches.
Here's a hack. I kept putting this off all day because my yoga mat is put away. Just to make no excuse, I was like, Keltie, just do it on the floor. Just do it right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And that's why I'm just stretching on the floor. I need to set up a little yoga area. Here's my plan. Take a few classes at the beginning because I want some external encouragement to actually do a full yoga workout. Otherwise, I'll just bail after 3 minutes. But muscle memory is pretty cool. I wasn't back to where I was last time I was in my yoga era, but I was pleasantly surprised when I could actually do a few of the moves, like this. Reminder, I need to remember what this pose is called, though. I'm headed to the gym, and I'm going to try my first ever hatha yoga. I've done vinyasa in the past, I've done hot, I've done Bikram, yin, but I don't think I've ever done hatha. Now, you might be like, Keltie, where's the Bikram? We don't do Bikram anymore. If you want, there's a whole Netflix documentary. It's called Bikram, Yogi, Guru, Predatory. And it's a Netflix documentary, and just know he's a creep. And Bikram was named after a guy who brought a form of hot yoga to LA. His last name's Bikram, anyways, creep.
There's a yoga college of India, and the man who runs it is Yogi Bikram.
So we don't really want to celebrate him now. So you've probably noticed a lot of Bikram yoga classes, just like how a lot of CrossFit classes aren't called CrossFit anymore. A lot aren't called Bikram. I'm in my first ever hatha class and was told very strongly, absolutely no phones. So no footage of the class. But what is hatha? Hatha shares the same poses as vinyasa and is considered an umbrella term describing most common yogas taught in the West today. Think of it this way, vinyasa is faster, hatha is slower and allows more stretching. Now someone comment down below, one thing I do like about doing a hot yoga class is because there's so much science about heat exposure and how beneficial saunas can be. And I've always wondered, it's obviously not as hot of a sauna, but the fact you're working out in it, is it kind of similar health benefits? Someone please comment below. I've been looking into it, but I can't really find a specific research study that shows hot room working out is equivalent to sitting there in sauna. I would love to know. Now, one downside I don't like about hot yoga is I feel it's kind of like not a workout, but you think it's more of a workout because you're so sweaty. It's like Tracy Anderson. When you're in there, if you were to take away the hot element and just do it, how hard would it be? I've slowly realized yoga isn't really necessarily about just getting stronger, working out. It's really a connection. It's a real spiritual practice, and there's so much we can go into about that. The ancient origins are yoga was a practice originating over 5,000 years ago in northern India. It focused on breathing, flexibility, and strength to enhance your mental and physical well-being. It also has roots in philosophy. Yoga is one of the 6 schools of philosophy in Hinduism and plays a significant role in Buddhism, with foundational texts like Rig, Veda, and Upanishads. I do apologize. As you guys know, pronouncing words is my biggest character flaw. Now, going into about halfway through this challenge, I'm feeling good. I'm back in the routine. I did a couple classes. I did some at house. I was using apps. I was remembering what yoga was and just like re-exploring. And I was kind of getting down on myself because I wasn't really nailing the routines and I wasn't really set up to hit this mermaid pose and this dancer pose, this goal I'd set myself. Like I was doing the yoga and I was feeling good and I was really happy I was doing it, but I was definitely falling short versus having like a periodized system really set up of like, hey, day 1, do this in the mermaid pose. I was just kind of at the end of every workout trying to do it a few times and still saw progress, but I felt kind of defeated. But then I realized something. I was starting to have real bad anxiety in the morning with yoga. It's day 8 and I'm approaching week number 2 and I'm realizing an issue I'm having with yoga. My type A personality and anxiety. I'm so used to like getting up and go. I'm really productive in the morning, like a tough workout. And like yoga is quite the opposite. It's a lot of sitting there with your thoughts early in the morning when my thoughts are 1,000 miles per hour. And I was having bad anxiety in these classes. I didn't want to go to it and I was just very anxious. And I've done a lot of blood work lately and all that, and I know I'm someone who runs really high strung and the cortisol affects my body, and every single doctor, everyone's like, you gotta learn to relax. But in the morning, I'm like, I'm productive and go, 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 go. So that's why I love going on runs. I love doing berries. I love doing these intense workouts in the morning because it like feeds into that and it gets to the office and go, go, go. But like, I think it could also be destructive because like I run around with like putting out fires instead of just being like, okay, calm, mental strength. What do we need to do right now? Instead of like doing 1,000 things, like come in as 100%. Like I'm really trying to get better at like not just constantly performing at 60% and trying to like really go 0 and 100, like really recover, really relax. And so in the next morning I can go 100, and that involves things like this. So I'm gonna do it, even though it just feels like such a waste. Ugh. And a quote that has really stuck with me for many years and was the reason I moved to Toronto, started a YouTube channel, is like becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable. And it's something I'm proud of. Like when things are uncomfortable, that's good. That means you're progressing. You're trying something new. Like that's what life's all about. It's not inherently bad. But personally, I've always associated that with like sports, intensity, like doing hard work. Uncomfortable means hard work. But I'm slowly realizing in this challenge that like hard work and being uncomfortable can be sitting there with your thoughts. Because for me, if you tell me I have to go run to the point of pain, like I don't know how to explain this. It's not that uncomfortable. It's something I'm used to. I know what to expect. It's like part of my routine. But to sit there in silence and with my own thoughts, that is uncomfortable. And I started to realize I'm like, that's the point. That's the whole point of this. Also, throwback to when I made fun of Aloe Moves. I'm going to use Aloe Moves because I found if you buy Aloe, they give you like a free trial. And somehow I still have the free trial. I think I'm being a weasel that I still have this. I don't know how, but we're going to do some Aloe. Oh, I remember how they changed the cancellation. Throwback to insert when I forgot to cancel. They used to make it really hard. Now they make it easy. Honestly, the app is fire right now. Ooh, they even have a 30-day yoga challenge. Dare I join?
Hey y'all, welcome to class.
Now I noticed a little pain in my ribs yesterday, which kind of happens when I get like crazy into stretching. Sometimes I just like have things tighten up, which reminds me of often a lot of people think stretching yoga will get rid of pain. And that's not the case. Actually, strength training usually does that a lot better. And one of the biggest things I see that happens with yogis is injuries. And typically that is from just increasing your range of motion, but not increasing the strength in that range of motion, which we're going to talk about in this video. Practices, slower stretches. Is that ideal? Instagram versus the reality of what my room looks like.
Every influencer posting on their nice aloe yoga mat. Just blank white walls. 5 seconds before is shoving their pile of clothes behind the camera. Me.
I'm mermaid pose for the first time. And yoga has really gained popularity in the West over the 19th century, influenced by figures like Swami Vivekananda and Shri Yogendra, who adapted traditional practice into modern lifestyle. So I think that's the cool thing about yoga is if you are wanting to get in a yoga challenge, I would say try a bunch of different ones. Like I tried Hatha, Vinyasa, Yin, which was really nice, and it's a calm one. It's a bit more stretching and being there. And there's ones that are more focused on posing, and there's more of a flow class. And then there's ones that are based more in the spiritual practice, and there's ones that are a lot more modernized. And I've gone to like hip hop yoga classes. And I just encourage you, whatever you do, is like try all of them, like try to explore the mental side of the uncomfortableness of a yin class of just sitting there in stillness, and then try to explore more of a flow class and a modern one that's kind of fun, like keep it fun with your friends, but also try and explore more of the spirituality ones of it and just appreciate like where this all came from. Good morning. Good morning. Today we got hot yoga, and what's the most important thing when you're doing hot yoga? Electrolytes. Now here's the toughest decision of my day. How to consume said electrolytes. Just do a classic. There's only one left. Citrusy. Flavor the water. Delicious. 2. It's pumpkin cozy season. I can make like a hot cocoa, enjoy like a little vibe on my walk to my hot yoga. Or the absolutely best invention of all time, carbonated. It's in my hand. I'm gonna drink this. Oh my God, so good. Carbonated electrolyte. Like, this is the product I wish I invented. Oh, what is this? Element. Which of you guys you know is the electrolyte I drink every day, especially when I have really sweaty workouts like a hot yoga, a big run session. And why I love Element is its science-based ratio of 1,000 milligrams sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. As you guys know, I love it because A, it tastes delicious. Like it's the easiest healthy habit. It also reduces that like slump in the middle of the day for me. It stopped me from getting excessive muscle cramps. I'm a very active individual, and so I do need to supplement electrolytes because when you sweat, you don't just lose water, you also lose electrolytes. If you are a runner, if you're doing hot yoga and you're noticing, hey Keltie, I'm getting cramps, I have this headache after, I'm feeling lethargic, you could have an electrolyte deficiency. So looking into electrolyte supplement could be great for you. And of course, Element is my favorite one. The hardest part of my day is which vibe do I want? Classic, carbonated, cozy? And of course, I got a deal for you guys. If you go to drinkelement.com/Keltie, you will get one of their sample packets with your purchase. This is a great way to try all 8 flavors or share with a salty friend. Once again, that's drinkelement.com/Keltie. Thank you, Element, for sponsoring this video and all my sweaty adventures. My Keltie habits suck. Playing life on easy mode. I'm on my way to hot yoga class right now, and I won't lie, zero part of me wants to. I'm just in like a really negative headspace right now, and I don't want to complain. There's literally overworked teachers, burnt out healthcare workers, there's wars going on, there's bigger issues than this. I'm in one of those negative cycles right now. I don't know if anyone else gets to like this. I'm doing too much, so I'm screwing up.
And because I'm screwing up, there's negative feedback. And because I'm doing too much, I'm overwhelmed and my emotional capacity isn't too high, so I take it more personally. And my defense mechanism is because I'm screwing up, I have to do more. Because I do more, I screw up more, and it's like a vicious cycle. So my anxiety is like here. And to go just sit in a room for 60 minutes and stretch and just be in my own thoughts is like the last thing I want. I just want distraction. But I booked this hot yoga class, so I'm gonna do it. And 0 parts of me wants to, but I probably should. Just like I should probably wear a root strap, but don't want to. Here we go. Speaking of doing too much, I was booking multiple classes for the week and I switched them around, so I show up 10 minutes early to my 5:15 class only to find out it started at 5. But because I thought I was going to be doing a class, I didn't have my headphones on and they were far away in the lockers, so I just went and did a yin yoga for an hour without headphones. And I needed that. Now, the hour of yoga didn't fix my problems. My bad day didn't flip upside down, but it gave me a little bit of happy chemicals. A little endorphin, serotonin. It was nice. I feel better. Not 100%, but better. Approaching into the week 3 of this, I kind of got my flow back and it felt really good to get that, because one of the things that yoga has really done for me is it's connected me to, like, I don't know how to say this without sounding like every other like self-help woman on the planet, but like my feminine energy, in the sense like there's just that flowness, there's that what I consider my own like feminine energy. I think it's going to be different for every single individual, and I think it's just something I'm craving right now in this chapter of my life. I think I go through ebbs and flows at times when I really want to work hard and be like grind, but other times like that really burns me out and I just want to go into like play and flow and just like embracing how I feel as a woman, whether how I feel sexy and that. And I feel yoga actually does that. Like it's really entwined with just like the rippling of your back and rib cage and just like moving through stiffness and seeing if my hips are opening and closing. And I'm not trying to make this sexual, but do you know what I mean? Just the flow, and just I feel more connected to my womanhood, and it like encourages me to slow down and feel that. And it's not just buying more makeup or dressing up cute. It's like a way of just being with my body, and I find that like a real fun way. And especially if you're someone like me who was a former athlete, and I was never told my body moves that way. My body was meant for performance, and so that's something I'm constantly reminded is just like another way to move your body is just that flow and playfulness, and I find that's why it's important to me. And while I was doing that, this challenge took a bit of a turn. So I started this challenge because I wanted to do cool tricks. I want to do cool tricks, and I was like, oh, this will make a cool reel. I've always wanted to do the dancer pose, I want to be able to do the splits, the mermaid pose, and I just wanted to do cool things for the thumbnail, and at the end of this video have a cool before and after. And I started to realize throughout this challenge that was my ego talking. That was completely vain. There was no real substance. Now those are fun things to try, but I did it purely to have a before and after shot, to post on Instagram, to have a cool reel, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I started to realize, I'm like, oh, that was literally deep down what I wanted to accomplish with this. And I started to realize throughout it how negative the voice in my head was, because as I approached week 3 and I hadn't got these, it's always there that like I only have 2 weeks left. I gotta go harder. Oh, you should have done this, and why didn't you do this? And you should have practiced this more times, and you should have more progressive overload, and like you're not gonna have a good before and after. And it was just constant like you're stiff and you're doing this wrong, and how negative that voice in my head is, to the point like it's just like my subconscious. Like I don't even notice it's negative, but when you really step back and you sit there at how much I talk to myself in the day, of how much of it is just putting myself down. Like she's a bitch. The voice inside my head is sometimes a bitch. And because of that, I've been spreading myself really thin. And I realized, no, what I need to do right now is just listen to my body, accept it. I'm privileged enough to be able to do a yoga class on a Wednesday and not be so hard on myself. And so I thought this yoga challenge was gonna be about like mastering a bunch of cool moves, but maybe it's about self-care. Oh, is that what I needed? Oh, classic.
Honestly, a little bit of discomfort in the tradition and the traditional practice of yin. I think a lot of times people.
I'm trying a new place today. It's called Ritual in Vancouver. It's got like hot cold. It seems very recovering.
Ironic timing, the very last few days of this challenge, I flew back to Edmonton to celebrate Thanksgiving with my family. Canadian Thanksgiving, we celebrate in October. It's weird. Make fun of us, okay? Americans, okay? Come at us. So I flew back to Edmonton for Canadian Thanksgiving. Wednesday, I did this like hot power class with my family, which was really fun. So I'm doing a hot yoga class at Moto and Yoga because I'm home for Thanksgiving. So me and my mom, brother, and his wife are gonna go do some hot yoga, which I probably won't be able to film, but I'm there. Huh? Core yoga. Core yoga. Ooh. This is gonna be my equivalent of Bikram. We were not allowed to film in it. Next day, I just did a little flow cycle at my mom's house. Friday, I actually went with my best friend Amy and we went back to the hot yoga class. It was like a combo, 45 minutes of power and then 30 minutes of yin, which is great. Went out to my parents' lake. They got a small little cabin there and I just did a little sequence. And then I won't lie, Sunday, Monday, I didn't do yoga. I've just been having this feeling lately, and this could completely be me, and I'm just gonna talk because I don't see people talk about it, and maybe it's just me, but maybe it'll resonate with one of you. I started realizing this challenge, and I've just realized over the last few months I'm constantly fed work harder, get a side hustle. If you really cared about something, you would do it nonstop and don't sleep. And I think especially like older Gen Z, younger millennials, we grew up in that like 2012 boss babe era, and like I don't wanna like demonize that in any sense, but I think there was just a lot of, if you really want something to happen and you're passionate about it, you have to work every ounce into it, and like that's all that matters, and like grind, do this. And I'm constantly fed things like this, and like if you're not doing, you're falling behind and you have to work harder. And David Goggins, if you miss a day, oh my God, you're failing. Guess what? I missed the last 2 days of my yoga. I did it this morning, but in my last week I missed 2 days and I don't care. I don't care. And younger me would have been like, oh my God, you said 30 days, you did do 30 days. And I would have to have some grand excuse. At the end of the day, it was Thanksgiving with my family. I didn't do it. And yes, I could have gone and done a few minutes, but I did. When I traveled, I went and booked a few classes ahead of time with my family. There's a great hack. If you're doing a fitness challenge, book it. See if you can do something with your family. And that was so nice. But I won't lie. On Sunday, Thanksgiving, yeah, I could have gone and stretched for 30 seconds, but my mind is focused on my family and I'm really happy I did that. I'm really happy my mind didn't go to fitness. I'm really glad my mind didn't go to YouTube. I'm really glad my mind didn't go to work. I was just in the moment with my family, and I feel so blessed that I have a family that it's exciting to go home for Thanksgiving, because that wasn't always the case. And I'm so thankful for the people in my life. And I just need constant reminder, and this challenge, something about it just like aligned with that. That's all that matters, family and friends. And we hear that and we know that. We all know that, like, oh, number one, family and friends. But like, we don't actually live that way. At least I don't. At least most people I know don't. We like prioritize work and grinding, and then we're all stressed. And of course in this recession, but at the end of the day, who cares as long as we have family? And the thought that I was gonna sacrifice an extra 30 seconds I could have with my mom. Like, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. And something about this challenge, like, I don't know if it's just a lot of times in my own head, but it just a lot of times of really at the end of the day, what matters. Obviously having a healthy body is so important, but really it's family and friends. And it's so cheesy, but maybe it's the age of turning. This challenge is just, I don't see that promoted. It's all about what you accomplished, working so hard, these achievements, which are all great, but still they shouldn't be the number one, family and friends. And I guess just that demonization of like, oh, you don't care about it enough. Like, that's what's getting at me. Like, you don't care about this YouTube channel enough. You don't care about this yoga challenge enough. You know what? I don't. It should not take priority over seeing my mom. And maybe that's just a realization I had. And I just feel the content I'm given, I never see that. Like, just that constant reminder of like, if you have family to go home to, if you have kids, a partner, close friends, like if you just have people in your life around you, that's what matters. And I'm sorry that's cheesy, but that's what came to me through this challenge. And I don't know how else to say it. Like, I enjoy doing yoga every day. I got my mobility back. You know, day 29, I was like, hey, I took 2 days off and my flow was right there. And obviously you should have rest days. Like I did throughout this challenge. So I would never say like fitness challenges every single day you have to do it. You can progress just as good doing a couple of days a week and having rest days. But the irony of like yoga, like a restorative yoga, which I did in yin yoga, you can do on rest days or something, or you can just do a couple seconds to sit there in child's pose. And I wonder if it's the lifestyles we're all living right now, because I see my friends who aren't influencers or YouTubers, they have a 9 to 5, and after 5 they still have to be working on their side hustle. They have to be posting on social media for their work, or there's just not that classic like you leave work behind and you go spend time with your families. And there's just something like that lacking, and every family structure is going to be different nowadays, and that's a beautiful thing about modern days, which I love. But I just not seeing the priority of the loved ones in your life. Is anyone else feel this way? And that's what it really got me bound. And maybe it was just a reminder, maybe this is just a me problem, and I'm just kind of talking out loud, but I was was like, wow, this is what matters. And it's not a fitness challenge, it's those people. And it's ironic that a fitness challenge is what got me to Remind, and it was just those thoughts in my head and just connecting with myself. That is what this challenge did, is it connected me with myself again. And sometimes we need those little moments of, it's not about doing more. I know me, when I'm stressed and doing too much, I take on more and more and more. And yoga, ironically, was kind of doing less. It was being there with myself, being there with my loved ones, and just connecting with my body and like true self-care. I do want to do a video of self-care because I feel self-care is change, but I know self-care for me is like, what do I really need? And sometimes it is doing more, and sometimes it is working harder because you don't push yourself. And sometimes it's taking a step back and doing less. And I never really know until I'm in it. And this was one where I was like, oh, I'm in it. I need to do less. That's why I was craving doing yoga, because it was like more and more and more. I was like, I actually need to do less. Except call my mom. Always call your mom. That's always the answer for everything. But with that, did this help my running in any sense? No, not really. It helped my mobility. But at the end of the day, I've been lacking in strength training. And that's really what could affect my running. I always try and do 2 to 3 days of weight training a week. And I've just kind of fallen off that. And so yes, I'm jumping on that train for the next 30 days. And I'll be documenting that on YouTube. So hit subscribe if you want to see that. I'm going to be redocumenting, getting back into my strength training for weights. Because that's the thing about yogis. A lot of yogis get injured because they don't strength train. And it's just one modality of fitness. It's not just stretching, it's not just cardio, it's not just weights. It's doing a little bit of it all, assuming that's your just general goal and you don't have a specific goal. But that's how I'm feeling. And I would love to know your guys' comments on just those topics. And maybe I'll continue them on in a video, because I'm just kind of in a funny thing right now of social media, a lot of stuff just being about like grind culture, work harder. Are we kind of missing what life's about? But moral of the story, what life's really about is petting dogs. So have a great day. Go pet a dog. Love you guys. Bye.